Hey family, guess who it is? Yes, it's me dropping in. Say, where the hell have I been? If you're new here, my name is Regina, and I don't remember what I used to do on YouTube. Hey family, guess who's here? Dropping in because where the hell have I been? So if you are new here, welcome to my perfume closet. I was in the midst of a massive declutter. Still am in the midst of a massive declutter, but there's so much more to go with that. Getting it down from 1,100 bottles. It was originally down to 300, according to what Spirit directed me to. Things have changed. Now we're trying to get it down to 100. We're going to talk about that. So please stick around. And as I like to say, welcome. All right, guys, like I said, we are just getting into it. I've missed you. How's everybody been? Thank you to everybody who sent me emails and DMs, all sorts of stuff, just checking in on me. I do so appreciate it. Let's go back to my last video, which I think was maybe around December 22nd, where I was doing my chocolate declutter. And y'all, I got to tell you, I had a lot. I think I may have had 6 videos. That included me doing my yay, nay, stay or go. And then I left for Paris for New Year's. And guess what? My memory card with an entire year and a half worth of work and the 8 episodes that I was going to edit on the plane decided it was going to hang out and run away, and it slid under the seat of the airplane. So I'm assuming my memory card is gallivanting around the world, truly. But it was a little devastating because I was so efficient that I had downloaded all of the clips from my phone to the memory card so I could work on my iPad, and then the memory card went missing. And so those are the 8 missing episodes. Let's just forget about the chocolate round for the moment because y'all want to know where I've been. First was Paris for New Year's. Then I got a hair up my butt. And even though I spent 4 fantastic days with my nieces, I came back and I didn't have enough. I hadn't had enough of my Paris because I was seeing Paris from their perspective as this was their first and second time. But, you know, I've gone so many times that Paris feels like home to me. I just didn't have enough. So I went back. Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I went back, but I went back during the week of sales. I don't know if I told you, but Paris basically, let me calm down because I'm talking really fast. I know, as I do. Paris has sales twice a year, basically in January and I think maybe in July. And that is the only time in actually all of France that there are sales where the retailers actually can lose money. So the sales can be really, really good, especially if you are a designer shopper. I mean, you can get things for like 90% off. Now, the very fact that they're costing like $4,000 or $5,000, 10% is still hefty. No, I did not buy any. However, I did have a great time thrifting. I think the bulk of my wardrobe right now is probably 80% thrifted, and I'm really happy with that. And I say thrifted, vintage, quality clothes from the 70s, 80s. Fantastic. Had a great week in Paris. Did museums, did the things that I like to do when I go home. So that sort of took me through the end of January. Now let me back up again. Damn, this is hard. I even have a little agenda here so I can go through it. As you know, we had the fires in California in January. If you've seen me before, I'm a little sensitive, and things like that kind of devastation can just sort of wear a little bit on my spirit. But in this particular case, it was even harder for me because I have at least 8 people who lost everything. And it hurt. It hurt my heart. I'm sure it hurt your heart because you can't replace those irreplaceable memories and sentimental value items. But it also, for me, was what motivated me to start my own little declutter because at least I was given the choice of what to choose to come with and what wasn't coming with. So that was a sadness on my heart for those people who lost everything, but for me it was a positive motivator. As you know, my plan is to move. When I tell you that I have done such a great job, I'm not being modest. I have done such a great job. My goal for January was really to work through a lot of my perfumes, purses, my personal items. Did that. But then I also did a lot of my kitchen things. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but just like I collect perfumes and I'm a little excessive, I also love to collect kitchen stuff, vintage kitchen stuff. Like I have the Pyrex, I have the Corningware, and I love it all, but it's not going with me. So I'm working on getting rid of that. Some of it's a little more painful. I have a huge collection of cast iron that will not be going with, and I also have a huge collection of copper pots, some of which will be going with. And I should back up because some of the cast iron is coming. I just don't need as much as I have. I have a friend whose niece and nephew, they're young adults and they want to get on their own. So they are happy to move into my house. I have vintage pieces that I'm not sure that I'm ready to let go yet. And they are willing to live in the house with those pieces because they don't have any furniture. It's working out really, really well. I'm really happy about that. It's all January where I'm packing and donating. And let me tell you, we got so many things that plug in. You have no idea. I mean, I have so many things that plug in, particularly in the kitchen. They can't go with me because there's a different plug, different wattage, whatever you call it. So that was that in terms of how I got my mojo in January. And the hard part I realized was is that filming slows me down. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I loved sitting here and chatting. Having to remember how to record was a little more painful today. But just to stop, start, film, record, and then to do the editing, it was crazy. Anyway, I haven't done that, but I have been doing my declutter. I just haven't been sharing it with y'all. I have an update for you, which I think some of you are going to be surprised by. I know I was. Wait, let me make sure I'm on my list here. I don't want to forget anything. The last thing I want to talk about is, I just came back from Milan last week. Got a little sick, just came back from Milan. And I also want to give you an update on what's happening with my move, the visa, blah, 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 that stuff too. Next topic, February, Milan, Essence 2025. This year they started asking content creators to apply basically. And they said my channel wasn't big enough to be given an entrance. But I also got the guest pass where on Saturday, the public was able to go. I was going to that anyway because I was still going. It didn't matter. I went. But then the brand that I reached out to gave me an exhibitor pass. And so I was able to go on Friday. So I want to give you my thoughts on that. One, the bottles are becoming so creative, so inventive. Some of them are just absolutely gorgeous. And if I can figure out how to edit, I will put it in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Overall, in terms of fragrance, I wasn't impressed. To me, it sort of felt like a rehash of the same things. Surprise, surprise, I only came back with 2 fragrances. I came back with a lot of samples. And one of them was from the brand that I become the mascot for because they just love me and I love them. And I already have this here because when I went to the show in New York, I fell in love with this, which is Extraordinario Vanilla Superstar. Yes, I still love it. Everybody that I know who has smelled it loves it. It only comes in a little 50 mil. And I was able to buy 4 of these. I know. I had to because they were introducing it at Essence because it's not in the market yet, and I just had to. So got that I brought back with me. Yeah, I brought 4 of them. I have no shame. And then I'm not going to show you, but I did buy. I went a little splurge shopping. I went to Hermes and I bought a couple belts and a couple buckles. A young woman that I actually talked to, huge perfume fan. She would love to be a perfumer, and we had a lovely chat while she's showing me the buckles and the belts. She turned me on to Mazzolari. They're a brand, but they also have stores. And in Milan, there were 2 Mazzolari locations. And I knew the name, I just didn't remember it. Turns out that I had the Mazzolari Vaniglia, which is the vanilla, that I didn't like, and I got rid of it. However, she told me about the Mazzolari Bianco. Oh my God, you guys, let me just tell you. It's not up here yet because it's still with my suitcase, but that is another fantastic vanilla. When I go through the vanillas, it will be a part of it. I'm so glad I bought that. But I didn't buy that. I didn't smell that or buy that at Essence. I got that from the Mazzolari store. The other thing was that there is a Turkish house, Elia, that I loved last year, and they were there again. And the perfumer, the woman, she is the Elia. And the perfume that I really, really like that she has done is called Grand Finale. So I went to them first, chatted with them, found out that they actually have a store, an upscale store in Istanbul. They gave me their card. I'm going to that store when I go to Istanbul in a couple of weeks because I need to buy a bottle of that Elia, the Grand Finale. Love it. It's beautiful. On me, on the dry down, it had a really nice, sweet honey note to it. I'll talk about it later. But otherwise, the only other one that really is sitting with me is Scientology's Lactonic. I think it's called. I forget. I'll put a thing up here. Scentology. I'll do something. It's not out yet. It is coming out probably in March. It will be a premiere exclusive at Jovoy in Paris, and then it will be carried at Jovoy. It was fantastic. It was caramel, like caramel, like rocks candy caramel, and vanilla. It was so good. Oh, there was the people who I don't remember who talked about bananas are taking over and vanilla's dead kind of thing. They had a nice fragrance. Again, it was another banana Laffy Taffy or banana an hour later to me, but it didn't last maybe 15 minutes on my skin. The Brazilian place that I saw that was in New York, Granada, I think it is, were also there. They are still amazing. Fervo Intenso is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They actually did a collab with Quentin Beach, which is also something really nice, very citrusy, very fresh spring fragrance, delicious. I would have liked to have gone on Wednesday. There were some seminars, some master classes, workshops I would have liked to have attended. Dominic Ropion was there. I would have loved to have met him, seen him. I encourage everybody, if you get a chance to go, go. It was, I mean, first of all, Milan's amazing. This perfume experience was also amazing, just because I think it was 398, not necessarily perfumers, because there's also beauty and skincare. And I think that's kind of all I wanted to say about Essence. I will go back next year. So let's talk about the perfume, because that's why you're here. You know it. I know it. I could hold off to the end, but why? I don't know if you can see right now with the way I'm sitting, but there are a lot of red dots behind me. There are a lot of red dots that are not in this closet, and there are a lot of red dots that have actually been given out. I think my mom has probably received well over 45 fragrances. Now she's moving on and giving them to her church ladies, her hairdressers. I counted 134 fragrances that are green. Bottle count would be much more than the 134, but name titles is 134. Did you hear that? 134. Y'all. Well, let me give you the caveat. I forgot. The caveat is that is before I finish my chocolate and my vanilla. I think when I counted the vanilla, I may have like 45 different vanillas. I will film because I know vanilla is like all of our favorites, right? We're all loving the vanillas. Now, the other thing that I need to do is I haven't done my full Middle Eastern. I have a lot of red dots of the Middle Eastern. I've gotten it down to 50. I may have 30 Middle Easterns that are still questionable. Got to go through those. And then depending on where that gets me, if I'm really, 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 really loving it, then they're all coming with, which, because it definitely will not be more than 160. Oh, I shouldn't lie. I could be lying on myself. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you posted because maybe you'll be here for that part of the journey. I might need you to hold me accountable. Well, let's see what Spirit says, because right now, this person, I was really damn proud of the fact that 134. So that is that. That is where we stand on the perfume. Whew, Lord, I know. But let's talk about my journey, because as you know, I'm moving. That's the whole thing about unpacking and why I'm doing the declutters. I'm moving. Because I wasn't going to Essence until Friday, I actually did a 2-day trip to Perugia because I wanted to go look at some houses and apartments. Because I'm still looking. I haven't found a place that I want to be in. You know, the Italians are very much into relationships. They want to see you. They want to meet you. They want to, whatever. So it's been difficult for me because I haven't been there. Now, just because I like pivoting, I haven't decided, but I may actually move to Albania. Hear me out. First of all, Albania is up and coming, but with an American passport, you can live in Albania for a year, visa free. They're very welcoming. It's on the water. It shares a border with Greece. Beautiful beaches, and still relatively inexpensive. Depending on how the Italian visa goes, I might opt to do a year in Albania every 90 days, basically go into Europe, i.e. Italy or France. I'm still so questionable in terms of like what I'm doing. I have options, but the options require just so much. And Italy is really trying to discourage immigration on some level. So they're making things a little more difficult. And I'm not really sure I'm ready for that. I want them to take my money. I want them to take my money so I can go and drink wine and eat good food and learn Italian, see the beautiful countryside. So I've got to decide what I'm going to do with Italy. Do I want to do a digital nomad visa? Because originally I was just going to retire. It's called the elective residency visa. Now we're calling it the retirement visa because you cannot work if you do the ERV. And so I was just going to do that, basically retire and say, heck with it, I'm out. But I started doing some consulting with a company here in the US. And because of my consulting, I'm going to have income. And so then it becomes, I want to do a digital nomad, which blah, 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 different requirements. So there are a couple of things there I need to iron out. But then a friend mentioned that if the Italian visa becomes a pain in the butt, took us, that maybe I should just go to France, just go to Paris, right? That there is a language school that she used that she thought was excellent that will assist you and give you a 1-year student visa to learn French. So I'm pursuing that because that is kind of one of my bucket list things is to improve my French language skills. I don't know if I told you guys, I started French in second grade in Massachusetts because back when I was growing up, you took French as your second language. And I took it all the way to 11th grade. So you're talking 10 years. I'm still a good vocabulary. And if someone speaks to me slowly, I more or less can follow what they're saying. My pronunciation is crap. Can't have a conversation. So, I mean, I would love to be able to have a conversation. I don't need to have some intellectual, philosophical, political conversation. I would just like to be able to talk about how the meal was or how the movie was or like how your day was. Talk to my neighbors. A couple balls in that air, right? Lots going on. However, it looks like I have until June. I'm thinking in April, I may go back to Italy because I still love Italy, but I also may from Rome. It's a 5-hour train ride to Puglia, to Brindisi, and then it's a 5-hour ferry across from Brindisi to Volare, which is what I'm going to call it, in Albania. So I could go check out those areas and maybe not move to Perugia at all. Did I not tell you there's a lot? At the end of the day, it's all good stuff. Now I just need to start packing up the things I'm going to take with me. Like I said, my clothes are good. I can pack up those. My perfumes, I can start packing up, I think. It's just crazy to imagine, but I'm going to put all of these, possibly do a pallet and put it on a container. And it'll probably take 3 months to ship it wherever I end up going. I'll be there. That's what I'm going to do. I think I have covered everything that I wanted to cover. And now we just have to do the filming with my vanillas. That is probably going to end up being a 3-parter just because, like I said, I have so many. But just in looking, they're right here. That's why I'm looking over here. They're all right here. And just looking at them now, I do, I do love me some vanilla. But this has my heart, y'all. This really, really does have my heart. I love this. So that's that. That is all I got to say. Look for this. Thank you for watching to the end. I'm so sorry that I know I've been chatty and I've been talking and a whole lot of stuff I probably didn't say, and I said stuff I shouldn't have said. But thank you for staying here if you got this far. Good to be back. Thanks, you guys, for being here. And thank you for looking out for me and asking about me. I really did appreciate it. I will see you at the next one, you guys. Cheers.